For more insightful analysis on Trump's recent statements on Iran deal, we are joined by analyst Ahmad Salehi live from Tehran. Thank you, Mr. Salehi, for joining us. So what are the implications of ending negotiations with Iran, particularly regarding its nuclear program and regional security?
Actually, first of all, let me emphasize on the logic of the President of the United States in his recent remarks. He said that Iran is incompetent because they didn't make a deal with the United States during the past 2 months. And in general, they didn't make a deal with the United States during the past 47 years. So in this logic, any country which is not oriented with the bullying imperialistic policies of the United States is incompetent. And apparently Spain is also added to the list of incompetent countries because they do not want to obey and follow completely the instructions and policies of the United States. This is a wrong logic. It is clear that it is a wrong logic. Okay. At the current circumstances, if you want to have a detailed and also a general picture of what is going on right now, is that, yes, some may say that when the strait is open during the last 1 month after signing the MOU, the strategic inventories and stockpile of oil of the United States is increased, and they have rebuilt their military presence, so they're ready to invade again. Let's focus on this matter. Based on the statistics, it shows that during the past week, 8 million barrels of oils of the strategic inventories of the United States is decreased. So we can say literally that they are not actually. First of all, let me emphasize on the logic of the President of the United States in his recent remarks. He said that Iran is incompetent because they didn't make a deal with the United States during the past 2 months. And in general, they didn't make a deal with the United States during the past 47 years. So in this logic, any country which is not oriented with the bullying imperialistic policies of the United States is incompetent. And apparently Spain is also added to the list of incompetent countries because they do not want to obey and follow completely the instructions and policies of the United States. This is a wrong logic. It is clear that it is a wrong logic. Okay. At the current circumstances, if you want to have a detailed and also a general picture of what is going on right now, is that, yes, some may say that when the strait is open during the last 1 month after signing the MOU, the strategic inventories and stockpile of oil of the United States is increased, and they have rebuilt their military presence, so they're ready to invade again. Let's focus on this matter. Based on the statistics, it shows that during the past week, 8 million barrels of oils of the strategic inventories of the United States is decreased. So we can say literally that they are not in a better position than the time they signed the MOU. And after that, President Trump made very clearly in public that if they had continued the war, they would have run out. They would have run out of the oil inventory. So the situation of the United States stockpile at the moment is not better, even worse than the time they signed the MOU. So it means that maybe these are again some rhetorics. Of course, when we are talking about a characteristics, a unstable characteristics like Mr. Trump, everything is possible. But based on realistic views and based on numbers, the situation, the stockpile of oil of the United States is worse. Okay. The second issue that is the important one is that who violated the MOU. This is only 2 pages, 14 article memorandum, which everybody can read it. It is very clearly stated in Article 1 of the MOU that parties should refrain using the language of threat against each other. Based on what I said, personally, I believe that these are rhetorics and tactics for increasing the pressure because based on the numbers, I said that the situation in the United States and the oil stockpile and the internal politics and the pressures on the president of the United States is not better than the time he signed the MOU. And at that time, he said that we have no choice because after 4 weeks, we would have run out of oil. But the point is that what happened last night and what Mr. Trump said that Iran fired at the vessels in the Strait of Hormuz is reading the story again from the middle page, from the middle pages, not from the beginning. Article 5 of the MOU clearly states that the arrangements of passage through the Strait of Hormuz should be coordinated with Iran. So opening a parallel route and a parallel corridor in the south side of the MOU is against what they promised, is against what they signed. And it is surprising that why the Americans do not respect their own signature. Maybe because they feel that they have a huge armada and like always they were giving words, but they didn't have to keep their words. Maybe they think that this is a repeating a story and they are behaving the same with Iran, which of course I said that the time of promising and violating your promises is over. So what was done last night was violation of Article number 1. What we heard from President Trump today in the summit of NATO is again a violation of Article number 1 because this is a language of threat against the other party, the signatory to the MOU, and there will be price, there will be compensation for these violations. Even yesterday, they again canceled the waiver for export of oil of Iran. Again, this is another violation of Article number 11, number 10 of the MOU. And also in Article number 11, they said that Iran should buy cereals from the United States only. This is again another violation of Article number 11. So I believe that because they felt in a bad position at the time of signing the MOU, maybe they thought to themselves, okay, we signed the MOU and like the whole history we violated. The time is over for that type of behavior. And you know, what is surprising is that at the same time, President Trump is behaving or is doing the same behavior with regard to Greenland, with regard to NATO, with regard to Spain, with regard to Panama Canal, and the whole event. Please, I take the attention of your viewers to the behavior of the Americans to the football national team of Iran. They gave hourly visa. So they had to fly from Mexico to Los Angeles every time they had a match. It was a cheap behavior. It was not civilized. It was far from being hospitality of the hosts of a World Cup. This is the behavior. So based on such behavior, can we imagine we can have goodwill towards this MOU? I doubt it. But the point is that maybe the Americans only can hear the sound of power. They do not behave in a civilized way, not with Iran, not with other countries. This piece of document, which is the result of the efforts of Pakistan, the neighboring country and a trustworthy country towards the United States, and a lot of efforts other diplomats in many countries did. So we have a concrete written document now ahead of us, and everybody can read it. It's surprising that the NATO director, our general director, also says that Iran has violated the MOU. Maybe he has not read the MOU, because you cannot have a different interpretation out of Article number 5 of the MOU. So Iran is committed to what it has signed. Iran is respecting its own signature. The thing that Americans do not do, they do not respect their own signature. And I think the time will show that who has the upper hand. I mean, after 2 invasions, Iran has a very good perception and a very good calculation of the boundaries of the military power in the United States. Maybe they believe that they can start a nuclear attack against Iran. Okay, let's them to think that they can do. And let's see what would happen if they launch a nuclear attack against Iran, because the president of the United States has already openly said that a big white light in the sky of Iran, it is a clear reference to the nuclear attack, to the nuclear mushroom, and the world is watching. This is a declining power during the last efforts. You cannot interpret it in a different way. The cheap behavior to a football team, rhetoric against Greenland, against Panama Canal, against Spain, European countries, NATO allies, against, I don't know, many countries, and against Iran. This is the same behavior, and it is a clear evidence of declining a power who does not like to accept its decline.
And so how might Iran respond, do you think, to Washington declaring that the deal is dead?
Actually, Iran, as I said, is committed to its obligations. The obligations of Iran is when the MOU is fulfilled to start the negotiations about the nuclear dossier. But if they do not want to continue with their signatures, Iran is not interested to do that. They can, I mean, Iran is fully prepared especially with reference to the recent funeral of the great supreme leader of Iran. It showed that the unity around the flag is unprecedented in Iran. The whole forces in Iran, political forces, social forces, the people, the authorities, the nation, and the government are united together. And especially with reference to the recent experience that Iran had 2 wars with the full power United States, Iran clearly knows the weaknesses, the boundaries, and the limitations of the military power. So Iran is fully ready for another round of conflict, military conflict, but that is for no benefit of any country in the region. I mean, we should pay attention to this matter. This is what President Trump always say, and maybe this time he has to pay attention to his own sentence. We will see what will happen.
And so what options do you think remain for US and its allies if diplomacy with Iran breaks down?
I see very limited options for the United States and its allies, except to abide and to commit their commitment and to implement their commitments in the MOU. Yes, they can re-establish a siege, a blockade, preventing Iran from exporting its oils, but it will put more pressure on the still fragile global oil and energy market, and especially with reference to the November election in the United States, this is out of the scope of interest of the president of the United States and even the people of America. So a blockade can be an option for them. They can test it and they will see the results. Also, launching another round of military invasion to Iran is another option. And we know that if this takes place, we will start from the last days of the previous war. It will be larger in scale and wider in range and boundaries, this conflict this time, if it starts again. So it is not in benefit of any country, but Iran is fully ready to engage if they prefer to.
So Iran and the US, they were supposed to meet on July 11th to continue technical talks. So after the recent turn of events, so what do you think is the future of these Islamabad MOU and the technical talks?
The ball lays in the court of the Americans. If they want to behave like their behavior during the past times, during the last 100 years, not respecting their own signature, there will not be any technical negotiation in regard to the nuclear dossier. There will not be any other negotiation with regard to the MOU. But if this is only a rhetoric and a tactic because this is also another interpretation that these rhetorics and language of threats beside that, it is intrinsic in the plot of the Americans, especially this president, this uncivilized behavior in the United States. Maybe this is a tactic for putting pressure or increasing the temperature before the talks. One interpretation. But if it is not, and they really want to end the path of diplomacy, there will not be any technical talks with reference to the nuclear issues and in general with reference to the articles of the MOU.